We're Charlie and Leanne, a couple from California who left our cushy suburban life to spend the next several years cruising around the Pacific Ocean on our boat, Juliet. And our little dog, too. In our last episode, we closed out our first season of cruising with our final week spent in the Sea of Cortez, including some awesome hikes and a near collision with another boat. Then the pandemic hit and we got rescued and flown back to California, where we spent 5 months isolating in Irvine. While we did our best to stay home and out of danger, it was not an easy time for us. My mom, who is in assisted living, caught COVID and nearly died from it. I flew out to Tampa in July, fully expecting to lose her. But she is one tough cookie, and she had a miraculous recovery. Go Mom! But then Charlie's dad caught COVID, and Charlie had to travel down to Hemet to help him. Once again we lucked out, and Dad is now on the road to recovery and being well cared for by Charlie's siblings. As the end of summer approached, we knew we were going to have to return to Juliet soon. But before we did, we got a fantastic opportunity to get back out on the water for one glorious day on a friend's boat. So, let's kick this episode off with a segment I like to call Other People's Boats. Our friends Alan and Allison Gable just bought a beautiful 2008 Seawind 1160. This is a 38-foot catamaran built in Australia. Alan and Allison were our original inspiration for cruising, having spent time cruising in Mexico and the South Pacific on a previous boat about 11 or so years ago. So we're thrilled to see them get back on the water and get ready to start cruising again. Let's see what they got.
Hi, I'm Allison, and welcome aboard our new condo.
It is a condo. It's huge.
Flyaway 2, and it's the second cruising boat we've owned. Our first was a monohull, which was a beautiful boat. So this is our new boat. It's not a very big boat, but it's a huge boat. It's 38 feet, but it's about 100 feet wide. There's our drinks.
Drinks are important.
The main salon, which completely opens out to the cockpit.
It's huge.
Go on down. You can do the kitchen, the galley.
Okay, this galley, I'm trying really hard not to feel terrible boat envy. So this is Allison's galley. I hate you. I mean, you look at the galley on Juliet, and it's this. And this galley, there's all of this. I can just imagine.
And this, and then I use overflow parking in the aft stateroom for things. So it's it's like my pantry.
I mean, I absolutely feel like I am in a condo. This is just cavernous, and I just think of all the meals that I can make. I mean, I make a lot of pretty good meals on Juliet, but the meals I can make on this, wow. But I don't have boat envy. There's no boat envy going on here. And this is the master suite. And I will fully acknowledge that I definitely have bed envy because this bed you can get all the way around. And so making it is so much. Hi, Allison. Anyway, so you don't have to flop around like a greased seal trying to get into the hidden corners to make the bed. You can actually get all the way around it. So lucky them. We're going to actually go out for a sail. So we got the boys up at the front getting the sails ready. The last time we were sailing in San Diego Harbor was when we were doing the ha-ha and doing the beginning of our journey, and now we're just going to go out and do a little bopping around the harbor.
We're still learning all the things you have to do. We'll get out, we leave in the harbor, and we'll go, oh, shoot, we forgot to do fill in the blank. Because new boats always get you.
Look at it, just rotates. This boat just kind of rotates. Wow.
And the first time I took the boat out, the guy was like up in his upper deck watching me like, I did it. I waved at him.
We women know how to sail too.
Oh yes, we're going out. This is fantastic.
Getting out on the water. Woo! Pretty crowded down there, but we'll get through it. We'll find a hole. awesome today. Look at this wind. And we have our lunch spread here. I made some roasted pepper hummus this morning and a salad, and we got there's a sandwich there, and if you've been following our channel, you'll remember just about a year ago when we got here prior to the Ha-Ha and we sailed under the Coronado Bridge, my very first time sailing under a bridge. So we did not expect to be seeing the Coronado Bridge again this soon, but there it is. So here we are. Here's my second time going under the Coronado Bridge. Well, actually, I guess it's the third time because we went under it and we went and dropped anchor over there. We grabbed a mooring ball, stayed there for a while, and then we left. Deja vu all over again. After 5 months of being dirt dwellers, we really needed to stay on the water. It reminded us what we left behind and what we want to get back to. It was also wonderful to spend time with Alan and Allison that we weren't expecting to get. After some teary goodbyes, we started planning our return to Mexico. But before we left, we had one more important thing to do. We needed to set a day aside to go to the beach. But not just any beach. We spent the day soaking up the rays in a place that's very special to us, Laguna Beach. We spread our blanket next to the cliffside just below Crescent Bay Point Park, which just so happens to be the exact spot where we got married 36 years ago. Yep, that's us as crazy kids embarking on a life together, with no idea that the sailboat that was behind us when we kissed would foretell our future. It was pretty cool to see that after 36 years, nothing has really changed here. Same gorgeous views, same rocks covered with barking sea lions just offshore. And now we're back in Mexico. We flew into Cabo, rented a car, and set off on the drive across the peninsula. It felt wonderful to be back in the land of the big saguaros, roadside taco stands, and of course, the beautiful Sea of Cortez. Even Bubba was excited, although after a while, he kinda lost interest and just wanted to nap. Finally, we are in La Paz. The legendary La Paz Malecón, which is the boardwalk along the water, has reopened to both car and foot traffic. Once again, we can enjoy the stunning works of art peppered all along the Malecón, including the manta ray, the tribute to local fishermen, a sculpture of Jacques Cousteau, and Charlie's favorite, The Mermaid and Dolphin by artist Octavio Gonzalez. So where are we? When we left La Paz, Juliet was in Marina de La Paz, which is the bottom of the Malecón, right in the central downtown area. But over the summer, we had the boat moved to Marina Palmira, which is a more protected marina at the other end of the Malecón. We had never planned on leaving Juliet and La Paz during the hurricane season, but COVID threw a monkey wrench into those plans, so we wanted Juliet in a marina with better storm protection, and there she is, right next to that big catamaran. We're loving this marina. It's got much more to offer in terms of creature comforts, including a nice walkway with a few good restaurants with outdoor seating, and a decent tienda. It even has a pool, which has been super wonderful given how hot it still is here. We actually have 3 pools to choose from, one at the Marina Resort, another at the condos, and a third small one strictly for marina clients. I've been taking full advantage of this luxury. We've not yet moved back aboard Juliet. We've taken a small flat right at the marina on the 3rd floor of this building. The stair climbing can be a bit oppressive when it's in the high 90s, but it's great exercise. And the apartment has fantastic AC and all the comforts we need as we prepare to restart our cruising life. And of course, Bubba's toys are already spread all over the place. First order of business is to go see how Juliet is doing. My biggest concern was, did all the food stores make it through the summer? Let's see how she looks. Well, back to Juliet. Here she is. Well, I looked inside the food stores and I see no evidence of cockroaches or mice or any kind of bug. Everything looks good. I pulled out some food to take back to the apartment with me. We got some rice, some beans, some, what do we got here? Some curry paste, a little pasta. So, yeah, looks like everything made it through the almost 6-month absence. Woohoo! Our first foray onto Juliet was a success. Everything looks good. The food, I checked the food stores and they all look good. I didn't see any evidence of any critters. Bringing some food back to the apartment with us, and Juliet is looking snug and secure in her slip.
So as we were coming back down the Sea of Cortez last season, we noticed that there was a lot of black smoke coming out the exhaust. It was more than normal. Even though the engine started well, ran fine at any RPM, it was putting out excessive smoke, especially as we gave it higher RPMs. When we got back to La Paz, I checked with a local mechanic at Cross Marine, and he said it probably just needed a fuel injector service because I had not had that done since we've had the boat. So while we were back in the US, I authorized him to go and do a fuel injector service. When they did that, they noticed that one of the injectors was a little bit dirty, so they cleaned them all out, spec'd them, and put them back in, started the motor and said it was running fine, and they didn't notice excessive black smoke. Well, once we got the exhaust elbow off, we were able to remove the turbocharger. When we did that, we noticed that the turbo was seized. It's completely gummed up with carbon and will not spin. So now we need to figure out what to do. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to clean it and get it to work again, or if it has to be rebuilt, or if we have to get a brand new one. A turbocharger is probably the most expensive item on this engine, and they're not necessarily readily available. So we'll check with the mechanic, and he'll check with his various machine shops and see if he can find someone that can help us out. The frozen turbocharger is probably the main reason why the engine was putting out so much black smoke, because since the turbocharger wasn't spinning, it wasn't bringing in extra air, which meant the engine was running richer than it should, which is why it was putting out the black smoke, which is unburnt fuel. Now, this engine is designed to have a turbocharger. I can't just remove or bypass the turbocharger because the engine is designed to work with it. That engine just won't work without a turbocharger. So we've got to get this fixed. Like I said, it's one of the more expensive items on the boat. So we'll just have to see what happens. So we really lucked out on the turbocharger rebuild. Turns out there's a great machine shop in La Paz that does a lot of work on turbochargers, and they rebuilt this one by machining down and inserting a new sleeve, pinning it, completely rebuilding the turbo with new bearings. As you can see now, the blades turn very freely. and they cleaned it all out. So the oil cooling ports are all cleaned out. It should be as good as new. This one lasted 30 years, so hopefully we'll get another 30 years out of it with the rebuild. And now I know how to inspect it. I'll pull off the intake port periodically and just make sure that the blades spin freely. I'm not sure how long it had been seized up. Could have been a long time. Anyway, we'll be installing it tomorrow.
Phew, disaster averted. So, now that that drama is over, we can focus on one of the things we love best about La Paz, the world-class food scene here. We're being as safe as possible, of course. We're sticking to open-air eateries. We've been doing a lot of dining with our friend Rich Bourne of La Paz Cruiser Supply, who lives here full-time and knows something about the best places to eat here. Our first night, we dined at his favorite local fish restaurant and were introduced to his favorite fish dinner, pescado al mojo de ajo.
The butter and garlic, because the butter gets in the rice.
A few days later, we celebrated our 36th anniversary at our favorite restaurant in La Paz, El Mesquite Grill, which has the best steaks on the planet, bar none. On another day, we went with Rich to the Bravo Market, a covered but open-air market with fantastic lunch counters, where we enjoyed yet another style of fish popular in Mexico, pescado encarcelado. This market is a great place to buy fresh fruits and veggies. There's also freshly caught fish, as well as locally produced meat. You know you're not in Irvine anymore when you see whole pig heads being sold at the meat counter. But we're eating most of our meals in the apartment, including this one, which is fresh mahi-mahi that I bought at the Bravo Market. Okay, enough about food. Besides boat work and eating, what else are we doing? Well, now that the Malecon is open, Bubba gets a lot of walks on it. We really stepped up our exercising when we were in Irvine, so Charlie is still doing a lot of bike rides around town. And I'm keeping up with my running regimen, doing about 5 to 6 miles a day. I may be slow, but I get the miles in. Turns out La Paz is a fitness mecca. Every morning I see tons of people out running, rollerblading, and lots of cycling along the bike paths. There are even these little workout stops peppered along the way, and there are always a few people using the equipment. I like to run the other direction from the Malecon, which takes me up the coast to a more rugged and hilly zone. And I'll tell you, I sure can't complain about the views. We're also back to enjoying the lovely and peaceful sunrises, and the always eye-popping sunsets. We're even still getting to see wildlife. All kinds of different seabirds abound along the coast, and I often see them hunting for their breakfast on my morning runs. I even spotted this huge vulture sunning itself on a lamppost. And let's not forget the wild canines. Oh, wait, that's just Bubba. So what's next? Well, we've got lots more work to do on the boat, and then we'll move aboard and set sail. So please keep coming back, as our second season of cruising is just beginning. And if you like this video, please click like, and maybe drop us a comment to let us know what you think.